What's happening, Lazy Bunch fans? Dan here, and we are doing another Ask a Lazy Bunch / Dan Man question and answer video. And what's most exciting is that we're actually doing this one 1 month after the previous one, instead of waiting a whole year and a half, and then people forget what I look like, and yeah. We'll be wrapping up a good chunk of 2022 right here. Now, we won't be answering the questions from like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, because they are still fresh and new, and I'm gonna save them for January's video. But I'm gonna be answering just as many questions in this one, and hopefully bridging that gap from that year and a half, and finally being caught up with all your questions. Before we dive deep into this video, make sure you wait to stay till the end, because I have a really awesome announcement on there. Not to mention, I'm also gonna be talking about things for 2023. It's crazy, the year is already over, so basically, I just want to talk to you guys about what we have planned for the future. Now, make sure you slap that subscribe button, because we are always looking for more subs. Make sure you like this video to help us with the YouTube algorithm, but more importantly, make sure you comment on this video asking me any and all questions you have, whether it be for Halo, Machinima, Disney, Legos, Marvel, Star Wars, literally anything and everything you want to ask, go ahead and ask it. I will answer it in an upcoming video. All right, enough of all that nonsense. Let's start asking some questions. Firstly, we have a question from Buck. Buck has always been asking us some really intriguing questions. Now, Buck asks, do you think you will write a Lone Wolves book? This is honestly a really good question. Before I got really big into machinima or filmmaking or anything, I actually wanted to be a writer. I have written a number of books that have never been published. And not to pat myself too much on the back, but my very first book I wrote, I think it was like in middle school, and it was the most awesomest thing I've ever written. I actually got a copy of it right here called Universal Wars: The Pilot War. So original, right? But yeah, this book I wrote like in, I don't remember, like 2006 or something like that, but I had plans for like 8 to 10 sequels. It was gonna be a whole franchise. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked with this one, but Lone Wolves as a book, I think would be very interesting. Like I said, I've always wanted to write a book. I've written many different things, ranging from wars to dramas to political things. If we're gonna talk about Lone Wolf specifically, I think a book about Agent Hudson would be very interesting. Like his life, like before joining Anderson and getting into the Freedom Fighters and everything. I think a book about him would be very intriguing. Like, what is his history? Like, we don't know anything about this dude. So yeah, sorry, I kind of rambled on that one, and I usually don't take that long answering questions, but this one, I mean, no one ever asks me about books, and I've written many books, just none of them have been published. Next, Buck asks, what excites you most with working on a project? Honestly, the pre-production is something that I really love to do. The script writing, the script revisions, the storyboards, the planning, everything that leads up to the production, I absolutely love that step. Right now, we're in pre-production for a number of projects, and I'm just so excited to see where all of this leads to. But yeah, pre-production. Pre-production is what I am most excited about. Next, he asks, what do you often dread about with working on a project? So the thing I dread the most, and this is arguably the most important step of the process, is when I've filmed everything, gotten a first draft done, and I show that first draft to my friends, to my family, to my colleagues, and to just get another opinion on it. I almost had Agent Parker in Lone Wolves Extraction come back as a zombie, so I needed someone to tell me not to do that. But basically, that is the most important step of the process, but it is the part that I dread the most, because I am totally fine with having to fix things up and redo things. But every now and again, there is a segment where we gotta get the voice actors together again, or we gotta refilm a whole action sequence. And that's the part of like, back to the drawing board. If that means having to redo a couple of things, rewrite a couple of things, then so be it. It's not the criticism. It's the having to go back and do it again. And for the millionth time and be like, oh, we're back here again. And I thought I was done with it. Next, Buck asks, are you going to go 16 controller mode someday? And if so, how will you cope? So many of you guys know I do a lot of the machinima and filmmaking myself. So much so that there are some action sequences where I have 12 controllers from 3 different Xboxes, all filmed by me. I have yet to go 16 controller mode. Like, I have had 16 controllers where like I would tape up the back so that way, you know, there's a guy in the distance shooting a gun. But I have yet to control 16 players at once. So, with 12, I have my hands and feet. I don't know how I'm gonna cope with 16, but I know that day will come, and I am just gonna have to roll with the punches. Next, for our Machinima series, which character are you most proud of writing? In the last Lazy Bunch questionnaire video, I kind of talked a lot about how I was really excited about Captain Reynolds and how he reflects a lot of my moods. But a character I think we're really proud of is probably Chloe from Reclaimer. Her history and everything is just so complex, and the characters surrounding her just add so much more to her depth. I guess I'm just really proud of like writing who she is and ultimately the situations that she's in, the characters that she interacts with. But Chloe is one that we never really talk about much, and I think we don't give her enough credit. Like, she is really cool and really fun to write. Next, he asks, which character do you wish you wrote better / did more with? I wish we did more with Agent Parker. Like, Smitty Smash did such a phenomenal job portraying the character that it sucks that he died halfway through the one movie he was in. So yeah, I really wish we utilized that character more, but at the same time, we needed him to die in order for Reynolds and other characters to move forward. I just wish we did so much more with him, and like, he had such a pivotal part in Perfect Soldier Evolution back in 2011, 2012, that like, he was like the perfect bridge between that series and everything else. So who knows, maybe there'll be more flashbacks or something. Like, as you saw, I try to bring it back to life. So who knows what could happen. Next, he asks, Lone Wolves the musical? Yes, and Lost Hope of Films is 1000% all for it. Next, he asks, oh man, this is a long one. Do you intend to finish off the Perfect Soldier cinematic universe with Radiohead's OK Computer as it fades to black and white and the camera pans away as the audience are left with dread and unease, questioning this moral quandary, and that it is... I cannot read this. Okay, this is a lot, so I'm gonna break it down real quickly. Do I intend to finish off Perfect Soldiers with Radiohead's OK Computer? I mean, it's not bad. Probably not, though, unfortunately. No, and I'm not gonna go with that. Is perfect even possible? I mean, no, but throughout the series, you're going to see instances of what makes these soldiers unique, what makes them stand out from other soldiers before, and ultimately the plan is to kind of showcase these group of heroes like how Marvel showcases their Avengers. Like, they may have some flaws, but they're the perfect heroes for this planet at this time. Like, they are exactly what we need. Is Anderson perfect? No, by all means, he's not. Does Anderson have abs? He has 8 abs, by the way. The Anderson scene, no, but I'm gonna kind of spoil a little something for you. It is the perfect scene to showcase the fall of what a once perfect soldier could have been. And I'll just leave it at that. What would Anderson have as a pet? It would actually be pretty funny if Anderson had like a pet turtle or something, like creature that like cannot harm another soul at all whatsoever. What's a fight you love to see from the Perfect Soldier cinematic universe? So right now, because we're talking about Perfect Soldiers 3, the big fight that we want to see is Commander Wells and Anderson. Commander Wells is head of the Freedom Fighters, and Anderson is the head of the Crimson Sparrows. So naturally, that's the fight that we want to see the most. Talking about Marvel, you know, we do want to kind of do like a Civil War type story. Yeah, but Commander Wells and Anderson, that's the big one right now that we really want to talk about. Buck comes back and asks one more question. When's the Morbius Lone Wolves crossover? Sorry, unfortunately, not until 2035. Jared Leto just has such a busy schedule. I mean, he's talking about doing Morbius 2, 3, 4, the musical. I mean, eventually we will have a crossover. It's just gonna take some time. So, we'll get there. I know. Patience. Nate Spidey 18 asks, do you plan to expand Machinimas in other ways apart from filming, like making books, comics, etc.? This kind of goes back to the first question with the book thing. I'd absolutely love to write a comic. I'd absolutely love to like make some comics based on some of these characters and just kind of like expand their life beforehand. But honestly, like, this would be really cool if we did like books and comics and stuff like that. Like, I'm not against it, but I'm definitely for it. I just wish there was a way I could get it done. Next, Kai06 or Extra Ninja. Man, I love this dude. He's so awesome. And like, I remember one time when we were filming, like, we stayed on after the filming, like, just for another hour, just talking about life and things. And anyway, he asks, what would you do or make after accomplishing a conclusion to the Perfect Soldier series? Honestly, there's a lot that I want to do after Perfect Soldiers and like my life in general. There's so many things I'm interested in doing. Like, completing this wouldn't be the end of me or anything like that. There'll still be plenty more stories for me to tell, different things for me to do. I wonder if like Lazy Bunch will just evolve and like start taking on Machinimas or other games to make other Machinimas for. Like, I don't know. I never really thought about like what the end goal is after Perfect Soldiers. Like, right now my mind is like Perfect Soldiers because that's like the next like at least 5 years from now. Like, that's like, we got like 5 or 6 projects down the pipeline. Like, so like in terms of like retirement from this, I don't know. I don't know, man. Make more Machinimas. That's the goal. NateSpidey18 is back with another question, and he asks, would there be another separate series or story that is in the same universe as Perfect Soldier? If so, then how would you make it? References, Easter eggs. So I guess, I mean, this is kind of a tricky one because, like, if you look at Marvel, you can't really say, like, Guardians of the Galaxy is a separate series. But it kind of is, you know what I mean? Like, you could watch Guardians 1 and 2. For this, a separate series, I'm not really sure how that would work. Because the thing is, like, if you made a separate series that took place in this universe, it would still be considered, like, part of the universe, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I mean, references, Easter eggs, if I do make another series that's, like, outside of all these characters and everything, for references and Easter eggs, I think the events in the main Perfect Soldier storyline will have to influence the events in that. And I'm just gonna come out and say it, we do have a big plan for, like, a Game of Thrones type story, and it's very, very separate from everything else that's happening. But there are certain events from the mainline story that kind of trickle down and kind of, like, affect things. So it's gonna be interesting. You're gonna see how that works out, but basically, if we were to make a separate series that's, like, still within the universe, but, like, its own thing, it really depends on what the events are happening in Perfect Soldiers, if that makes sense. Next, we got Aquifer Unknown. Yes, my guy, always asking questions and always commenting. Are you planning on making any big Machinimas outside of Halo 4? Yes, Perfect Soldiers 3 is actually going to be part of it in Halo Infinite. Now, I know a lot of people are like, whoa, hold up, Halo Infinite, it's not a perfect game. Halo 4 and Halo 5 aren't perfect games either, and I can talk all day about this, but Halo Infinite is the future that we're kind of going with. For that Game of Thrones type story I talked about, we may use Halo Infinite, but we may end up using like Halo 3 or Halo Reach. And the justification for this is it's on a different planet that takes place in a different time period. So we can kind of get away with using different armor sets. But yes, we do have plans to film outside of Halo 4. Lots of plans. Next, Just For Today asks, man, Just For Today! Oh man, this guy, really talented editor. He's got a lot of cool projects. So go check out his channel. Check it out. I bet. I've always wanted to ask, what do you think about the Halo Machinima Rewind? How do you think it can be improved? And of course, are you ready for this year? So for anyone who doesn't know, the Halo Machinima Rewind is both like an award show, kind of like highlighting the best of the Machinimas in the community, but also just showcasing Machinimas in general. Like there's the Halo Machinima Rewind Awards and the Halo Machinima Rewind. So it's a really cool event and it brings the community together, and I think it's a lot of fun. So please check it out in the description below. But how can it be improved? I mean, honestly, I've never run an award show, but overall the community itself has to kind of like embrace it a little bit more, because I know there's a lot of different types of award shows throughout the Machinima community, and a lot of people get either really excited or really upset when their Machinima is not showcased. At the end of the day, it's not about which Machinima is best, it's about just making a Machinima. And it's really tough. The process of making these Machinimas is you're literally making a movie. For improving it, I'm not really sure how to improve it really. I mean, I honestly thought it was really good last year. And the fact that you're able to do all this, my guy, I mean, I don't know how you do it. And to answer the last question, are you ready for it this year? Yes, I am ready for it. Lone Wolf's Extraction is gonna be all over the place. Next, Aquifer Unknown again asks, who would win a fight, X-53 or the Meta? The tricky thing is that the Meta is a person, and even though he's basically like indestructible, he can die. X-53 is literally like, he's like the Terminator, like he cannot be killed. The difference is X-53 doesn't know right from wrong. I mean, I guess that kind of goes to the Meta too, but X-53, he self-sabotages himself. I think we need rules for this fight. Honestly, I think we need like rules and like criteria on who wins this fight. Because honestly, I can see the Meta winning, but X-53 could end up just destroying the entire landscape around the Meta, forcing the Meta to just kind of be like, well, I'm doomed. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I mean, my money goes on Meta, but yeah, let me know in the comments below. Who do you think will win? That's a good question. NateSpidey18 asks, how do you feel about the current state of Halo Infinite, seeing the roadmap, Season 3 being delayed, and local split screens being canceled? Here's the thing. And I'm about to preach some very controversial things about Halo Infinite, so I don't think Halo Infinite is a bad game. I think it's actually a pretty good game. Do I have problems with it? Yes. I hate the fact that everything is in the shop. You can't unlock those things ever. You have to just buy everything. I hate that. But on the same token, Fortnite does it. Apex Legends does it. It's just the way the gaming industry is now. That's not so much a Halo Infinite problem, it's more of a problem with the gaming industry as a whole. Now that we have Forge, you know, more maps, custom games. Now, the reason why I like the game is because, one, I actually have a lot of fun in matchmaking. Do I think the progression system is crap? Yes, it is crap. It is terrible. I don't understand why they won't just go to Halo Reach's progression system. It doesn't make sense why in every Halo game they try to change it up and do XP and do all these other things. Just Halo Reach had it right. I don't understand why they just don't go back to that. It doesn't make sense. Forge is absolutely amazing. Like, it was literally a game changer, and like the game is so much better now because of it. But the local split screen thing, that still irks me to this day. Like, it really irks me. Look, I hate the fact that they promised it was gonna be in the game and now it's not happening. Honestly, I could see them add in local split screen at some point. Like, they have the capabilities to do it. Again, we've seen people do it, and it is possible to do it. So who knows? The fact that season 3 is being delayed, it sucks, but I am one of those people who's really optimistic about the game. Like, the game has a really strong, like, core to it. And I think this game is going to be a really good game by the time season 3 comes out. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Ask me a couple months ago in the middle of season 2, I would say the game's completed utter crap. But after the winter update, I think this game is in good hands now. I think it's going to get a lot better. And I am very optimistic about its future. And ultimately, that's why I have decided to stick with Halo Infinite for future Machinimas. I think this game is going to really improve over time. Next, Nate Spidey18 asks, if you had the option to direct or remaster anything live action, what would it be? Again, another controversial thing. I would absolutely love to direct, like, Back to the Future 4 if that ever becomes a thing. It's not going to be a thing. It's not going to be a thing. Robert Zemeckis, that's his baby. He's never going to let anyone touch it, but I would absolutely love to do a Back to the Future 4. Of course, a Star Wars film. I would always be down to direct anything Star Wars. Marvel, of course, because I compare our channel so much to Marvel, and I make stories that are so much inspired by Marvel. Like, if I'm able to direct any of my, like, hundreds of books that I've written, I would absolutely love that. That would be so cool. I know what I'd remaster. I'd remaster the Halo series because that was just such complete utter garbage. Like, all right, I'm just gonna stop right there before I get really deep into that. Like, I know a lot of people were mad about Halo Infinite. I was not as bad. The Halo TV show, that made me mad. And last, but certainly not least, the Slimed Artist asking a question as well. Again, love this dude as well as everyone else. Aside from your Halo nostalgia and 343 shorts, is there anything else planned for comedy-related Machinimas? If so, what game for the use of Machinima? So I think this question was actually asked right before I started posting if Halo was a sitcom series. And if you watch that series, I used Halo Reach, Halo CE, and I have plans to do Halo 2, 3, all the other Halo games. But in case you're wondering where I get most of my inspiration for these, I love SNL and I get a lot of inspiration from them. I also used to watch Sanity Not Included. They had a lot of great little segments on there. And so those are my biggest inspirations for these. So there's a lot more I have planned, and you'll just have to see what comes out next. So that answers all the questions I have for now. In January, I'm going to answer the rest of them for this year. So make sure you comment below your questions and ask in the Discord server in the Ask Dan Man section. Ask me some more questions. You know, like I said, I'm down to answer whatever you guys have for me. So on to some announcements. This is the part of the video that I told you guys to wait around for. So 2023 is going to be a big year for us. So let me start off with the bad news and then get to the good news. The bad news is Let's Watches are just not happening anymore. And unfortunately, it just got to the point where I just couldn't keep up with demand. So I thank you guys so much for asking me to watch these and watch your particular projects. I could go further in depth as to why I'm canceling this series, but I can't do it. The Let's Watch series just has to end. I had great intentions when I first made it, but over time it just drained me, and it took up too much time to make those things. And so that's the bad news. Let's Watches are they're just not happening anymore. If there is a huge demand for it, maybe, but I recently did a poll in this channel asking, you know, if there is some series you want me to bring back, vote below, and out of 200 votes, only 3% voted for Let's Watches. So that right there told me enough. Like, no one's watching this, no one cares. So yeah, again, I apologize for those few fans who do love it, for the people who do enjoy watching it. but it's just not happening in 2023. Now on to the good news. Genre Generator. That is a series that was separate from Perfect Soldiers. It's its own thing. It's all comedy. It's gonna be hilarious. Even recorded and filmed the first episode. It's almost done, I swear. But at some point, I just decided to kind of hold off on it until I made some more episodes. That is gonna come out in 2023 at some time. Like I said, it's a comedy machinima, so if you love comedy, good for you. Now to some more bigger, exciting things. I have something really cool I want to show you guys. It's something that I'm really passionate about, and I know what you're all gonna say to this. I'm gonna be making another YouTube channel for this particular thing, and I know what you guys are gonna say. You have a Disney channel, Lazy Butch channel. You're running 3 channels? Yeah, I'm gonna be running 3 channels next year, but I'm gonna still focus on 1 video a week for every channel. Even if it's a short or a long form content, I'm still going to be making something for every channel once a week. On top of that, I'm also going to still be working on my machinima projects, which are usually the big things of every year. So it's not like I'm pushing anything else off or sideways. I know what I could handle, and I know I could handle 3 videos a week. I know I could handle that, but the fact that I'm spreading it between 3 different channels, that's where it gets a little confusing. But I'm really excited about this. You guys might already know what it is, but I'm just gonna show you and we'll come right back. All right, for this segment of the video, it's gonna be from my phone and I have to go upstairs to show you guys. And I bet y'all are wondering, what is Dan gonna show us? Well, Dan is here to show you Legos. Lots and lots of Legos. So yeah, this is just, like I said, this is something I'm really passionate about. I mean, I love Legos to death, and like, I have a lot of gear up here. This is kind of like our 3rd bedroom, slash attic. I'm not a huge fan of like the color schemes in here. There's a lot of pinks. The rug is kind of just but it's a great space that I think will work for what I want to do. And I really want to make a Lego channel. And that's kind of what the big announcement is. I mean, on top of all the cool stuff we're going to do with Lazy Bunch, like, of course, we're still going to have the shorts. We're still going to have Perfect Soldiers 3 come out, Genre Generator, everything that I said. I'm still gonna focus on those things, and of course, 1 Minute Disney, I'm still gonna focus on that too. But with that being said, I'm not gonna lose focus on Lazy Bunch. I'm not gonna lose focus on any other channel. It's just something that I really want to talk about. It's like, as you can see, look at all these unbuilt sets, and then like down here, these are like huge bins, and each of them are filled to the brim. This one's instructions, but filled to the brim with Legos. Right over here, these 3 tables. I'm gonna get a 4th one to fill the space right here, but the plan is to make this a big Lego city right here. I'm gonna have like mountains, a train going around all the way around. Where's that box? I have like a whole box of just track pieces. At the end of the day, this is something I really want to do, and I feel like I can actually do that now. So like I said, I'm gonna make a big announcement, and when the channel is up, if you guys could subscribe, that would be awesome. But if you're not interested, it's okay. It's fine. It's not your thing. If you're into Halo, that's perfectly fine. If you're not into Legos, it's perfectly fine. So, but this is something that I really want to do. So, yeah. So, there's that. Yay! So yeah, really excited stuff, right, guys? I'm really excited to talk about Legos. I've always loved Legos, as I said. Yeah, there's just so much to talk about and so much to show you guys. And like I said, this is a new channel that will be started up at some point in 2023. And I'll make a big announcement about it and everything. So if you're passionate about Legos too, please subscribe, please like the videos and everything. Legos have always been like in my family, like I have my brother Greg, who has almost 8 million YouTube subscribers. He's very big into gaming. Scott, who loves architecture, loves buildings and everything, and Tyler, who's a musician, and then there's me, who loves filmmaking, but never could get into filmmaking because money. So I resort to Machinimas, so I kind of take a little bit of what everyone is doing in my side of the family, but Legos have always been my thing, and I'm just really excited to just be talking about Legos more and to really showcase the ones that I grew up as a kid. And yeah, so I don't know what the future holds for that channel. I hope you guys like the stuff. I hope it gains some sort of following like Lazy Bunch did over the course of its 13 years. And that's wrapping up for me today, everyone. Thank you so much for asking those questions in the Discord server and on those YouTube videos. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to this video, and I will see you all next year for our next Lazy Bunch Ask Dan Man questions. Yay!